Hello my Luminites, it is Ivy and welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, hello, my name is Ivy, also known as Intuitive Ivy. I'm here on my YouTube and also on my Instagram and on my TikTok. I am the co-founder of an amazing spiritual business company called Unearthly Treasures, where we sell all sorts of spiritual, awesome products, so I'll post that down in the link below. I'm also the podcast host of a podcast called the Woo Woo Podcast, a podcast for the spiritually open-minded. So I'll post that in the description down below as well. Hello, my name is Ivy. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, this channel is all about the magical, the mystical, and the supernatural. I hope I didn't do that the other way, the wrong way. I probably did. Today, we're going to be talking about the top decks, the top tarot and oracle decks on my wish list. These are going to be decks that are already out, 1. 2, they're going to be decks that are pretty popular. Lesser known decks and Etsy decks are going to have its own, and that's going to be its own video because I already have a lot of decks on my wish list from just Etsy alone and smaller or lesser known deck. Okay, deck number 1 is the FAIRYTALE tarot deck. This deck is so cute. This literally, okay, it looks a lot like the classic Rider-Waite tarot, which surprisingly I actually really love. This is a deck that I love because it basically gives the Rider-Waite deck while it still maintains those like vintage, like, you know, those old style dressed closed people. It has a very like cartoony feel to it, you know, it gives it a more animated and cartoony feel, which I love. It's so freaking cute. This is actually a deck that says on there on Amazon for beginners. So if you are a beginner, this might be a deck that you might want to start with, you know, if you're interested in learning tarot and you don't want the Rider-Waite. This is another deck that's, you know, at your disposal to get if you want to. Me, while I'm not a tarot beginner, it's still a deck that I love so much. It's so cute. I love the color scheme. Okay, deck number 2 on my wish list, the Mystical MEDLEY'S Tarot. Oh my gosh, when I tell you that I've been waiting forever for this deck, I'm not joking. This is a deck that I have been following on Instagram, and I've seen it from the very first early concepts when they first started it to how it looks now, and I love it. Like, I love it. I literally just found out that it's on sale now on Amazon, and it wasn't before, so I bought it already. But I haven't received it, so it's still on my list here because I haven't received it yet. If you guys like the game Cuphead, you guys would love this deck. This, like, while like Cuphead is like a challenging game, I have it, but I haven't beat it. I like the artwork of Cuphead. I like the cartoony style of Cuphead, and that's what this deck is. It's a very vintage, cartoony, retro-y cartoon vibe, and it's so freaking adorable. Think like classic Mickey. So it gives me nostalgia, and that's why I love this deck. So this is one that was like, has been at the top, tippy top of my list for a while now, that I'm so freaking happy I'm finally gonna get my hands on it. Top deck on my wish list, number 3, is the Zombie Tarot. This is again another one that is very, very popular online. I haven't seen anybody use it on YouTube, but I do know that it's sold a lot because it has a lot of reviews on Amazon. It has 5 stars across the board, and this is a deck that is so cute. Like, first of all, I like love zombie themed stuff. I think it's cute, and anything like pin-up-y and retro, again we're going back to that whole retro thing is my shiznit. I think it's stunning, and this combines zombies and like pinup style together in one tarot deck. So of course this is a deck that I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get my hands on this. This is so freaking cute. I have another tarot deck that's very retro-y. It's like the Housewives Tarot, which I freaking love so much. But this is another one that's like on my list. Like retro-y pinup combined with like the horror thing together, like that's like the best of both worlds for me, and I'm surprised that I still haven't gotten it yet. Okay, so deck number 4 on my list is the True Heart Intuitive Tarot. This is a deck that was created by Rachel True. Why do I want this deck? Yes, the illustrations are very cute, very stunning. It gives me very much like Good Karma Tarot vibes, which I really enjoy the Good Karma Tarot. I think Good Karma Tarot and like meets Modern Witch Tarot together, that's the vibe that I get. But not only that, this tarot deck, it's meant to be read intuitively, which means there's a lot of symbolism in here, and I really quite like that a lot because I like to use both like standard by the book reading combined with intuition to do my card readings. So having those two things is like perfect. But this deck was created by Rachel True. That's another big thing why I want this deck. Who is Rachel True, you might ask? Well, if you guys have seen that classic witchcraft movie, The Craft, she was in that movie. She was in that movie. She was one of the leading actresses in that movie, and that's another big reason why I want this deck. Like, The Craft is a movie that's, yes, it's very like creepy when you think of the concept, but I love how they go by the threefold law, which is actually a real true law that, you know, a lot of like real witches go by, you know, the law of three, like threefolds. Whatever you put out there comes back 3 times. So I like that, and I like that movie. So yeah, so that's another reason why I really do want this deck. Top deck that I want, number 5. This is a deck that I am definitely going to be getting very soon. Probably my next paycheck, because I really do want it, and it just came out. And that is the Disney Villains Tarot. I love Disney. I love Disney villains. This deck is perfect in every single way. This is by Minerva Siegel, who made the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot. She also made the Supernatural Tarot, and she's gonna make more tarot decks coming up next year, which I'm going to do a whole separate video for, like decks that are coming out in 2022. So I'll save that for a different video, but she does a lot of these themed tarot decks. I love this deck. I am hoping, I have not seen how the minor arcana looks like, so that's something that I'm a little scared about. Like, a lot of the Nightmare Before Christmas, a lot of the minor arcana was very pep style, and I'm not very much into like the whole pep style tarot. I like full illustrated cards in both the major and the minor arcana. So I'm hoping it doesn't have that pip. Did I say pep? Pip style. Number 6 is the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. This is a deck that has honestly been on my wish list for quite some time. I don't know how long ago this came out, but this is a deck that's so popular. It has over 10,000 reviews on Amazon. Again, 5 stars across the board. This thing literally has 5 stars with 10,000 reviews. That's how you know this is a darn good deck. This deck is stunning. It's beautiful. It is very different from any deck that I own. The colors are very vibrant, but what I love about the colors is that, like, yes, they're very vibrant, and sometimes that's a little like too much, but if it's, again, this is just me, this is me being weird because I'm weird and that's me. If the vibrant colors are together in a rainbow, I dig it, and these colors are rainbow. So I like this deck. All right, so next on my list, coming in at number 7, is the Sugar Skull Tarot by David A. Ross. This deck is gorgeous. Like, this deck is so pretty. It's a very different, because a lot of tarot decks tend to get either like white like border colors, or like just bright border colors, or no border at all. The border colors of this deck is black, which for some reason I very much love. I don't know what it is about this, like, I don't know how to explain this art style. It's like a modern-ish kind of like simple modernish digitized graphic. The color schemes are, again, very gorgeous. I love the color schemes. I love how it relies very heavily on like the black and the black border around it. And then you just see these like nice soft pastel colors, and you guys know that pastels are like my shiznit. I love black, and pastels are my shiznit. It still gives that very classic Rider-Waite vibe. Like, if you know the Rider-Waite and you're familiar with that deck, it's not something that strays away too much from it. You can still grasp that similar concept. So this deck would work very, very well alongside that deck if you wanted something with a similar yet very different style. Deck number 8 is the Millennial Loteria. This is not a tarot deck. This is not a Loteria tarot deck. I actually do have a Loteria tarot deck. It's called El Tarot deck. But this is just a Loteria deck, but that's very millennial and modernized. Like, they have different cards that says like La Selfie, La Student Debt, like stuff like that, that I think is really, really cool. And you guys may know that you can use the Loteria as a sort of divination like the tarot. I've actually done a whole video on it around Cinco de Mayo, which is timeless, so you can still watch it if you wanted to do so. I'll post it here somewhere. Coming in at number 9, we have the Beautiful Creatures Tarot by the creator is J.R. Rivera, and the illustrations are by Jasmine Beckett Griffith, which you've probably seen before on my channel. She made this Myths and Mermaids Oracle, as well as Less Vampires. She made an Alice in Wonderland Oracle. Like, her artwork is stunning. Her artwork concept is whole, beautiful dolls with like that look very cartoony, but their eyes are so huge and realistic, not as in like the size of them, but in how human-like they are. So cute. The artwork is absolutely stunning. Another thing that I really like about this deck is, while the cards, I feel like the cards are going to be just as big as the Oracle cards for some reason. I'm getting that vibe based off of the pictures that I've seen, because they're very more square looking than rectangle looking. And you guys may know that typical tarots are kind of like more rectangular shaped, and oracles are a little bit more square and larger. But I like the fact that it's fully illustrated, which means that there are no pip cards. As far as I've seen, there's no pip cards. They're all fully illustrated. Both major and minor arcana are all fully illustrated. Coming in at number 10 is the Tarot of Oppositions. You guys, this is a deck that is so hard to find. I found it at tarot, I think it's called tarotmerchant.com, where I bought these other decks, and they were sold out. I went on Amazon, they're sold out. This deck is hard to find, but this is, I love it. I love it so much. They very much match the Rider-Waite. It's not the same, but you can grasp the same exact concept on the Rider-Waite and this deck. Why it is called the Tarot of Oppositions is because it reverses both sides. So if you were to do a reversed reading, if you flip it the other way, it gives a completely different meaning and a completely different vibe to the card. So while right side up sticks very similar to the concept of the Rider-Waite, flipped in reverse, it gives the opposite meaning. I love it. I would love to work with this because I feel like it would make it very easy to understand reversed cards. Okay, so last but certainly not least, we have the Tarot of Light and Shadow. This deck is a little bit more expensive. So this deck is very, very different in the fact that you don't get one but two tarot decks. You get your light deck and you get your shadow deck, and I love this. I don't know why I didn't pick it up at Barnes & Noble when I had the chance to, because now you can't find it anywhere. The color scheme is very simplistic. There's no bold colors. It's simply, the light version is very like parchment paper like colors and black illustrations, black font. The shadow color, however, the shadow deck is a dark blue with a blue border and then a white illustration. What I love about these decks is that the illustrations are pretty similar and they match very, very well. However, there is a bit of a difference between the lights and the shadow. So I really want this deck, and it just came to me very recently that if I were to have combined the two, if I were to use them together, we would get a whole new depth to tarot card readings, because you'd have your light side, like what's going on that you can see, the conflicts that's arising, the good things that are happening, and then we can use the shadow deck underneath it, so you would see, okay, but what's going on beneath the surface, what's going on internally. Anyways, you guys, that is all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm definitely going to be doing again a different one based off of cards, like top tarot decks that are on my wish list that you might have not heard of, and top tarot decks on my wish list on Etsy. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much again. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for making this channel just grow and grow. I have so many ideas for 2022. Like 2022 is gonna be an epic, can I say without getting, I'll just censor it, year for sure. Like I have different things coming, different announcements. I'm gonna have my own office. Like there's a lot of things coming for this channel in 2022, which I'm so excited about, that I think that you guys are gonna enjoy as well. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.